TGIF, you possum peeps. Today is Friday, July 21st, 2023, and you're watching the Weekly Paw. Hi, my name is Sean Patrick Hillman. I'm the editor-in-chief and co-publisher of Pet Lifestyles magazine. So this time of year always brings up some very interesting issues with respect to our forever friends. I'll give you an example. Let's say it's too hot outside or humid, especially given what we've been going through in this country for the last couple of weeks, to open the windows. And you're worried your home might have a slightly dank odor from that dinner you made the night before. Or, let's say your kids had a sleepover and you feel like, the living room might smell a little bit like a locker room. So what do? You either light a candle or you start spraying room spray. Either way, your dog might start coughing. Your kid might start coughing. So if you're concerned that you don't have pet-safe room sprays or home aromatherapy like the plug-ins, the diffusers, those kinds of things, many dogs are very sensitive to this issue. So it was very cool when Aroma Retail reached out to me. They make pet-safe, non-toxic scenting products that freshen up malodors while keeping our forever ones happy and healthy. The fragrances harness the power of all-natural, organic, plant-based compound of the essential oils in a safe and natural diffusing base that is hypoallergenic to eliminate those funky smells from either your carpets, furniture, or whatever else is a little stinky in your house. Now, there are no volatile organic compounds or allergens in this product. Now, you can also get scents that remind you of your favorite hotel, your favorite destination, flower, or season. A lot of people are big fans of that iconic smell that the Westin hotel chain uses. I have a feeling these guys have something for you. Now, there is a scent, as I just said, for you and your forever ones that will keep them safe. So some of you are asking right now, what the hell does this have to do with, Pet Lifestyles magazine, or how does this make sense for the Weekly Paw since it's not a pet product? Okay, that's true. But it is a product that does directly affect our pets, hence the inclusion. You're going to start to see more and more of these kinds of products in both the Weekly Paw as well as in Pet Lifestyles magazine. It's all in an effort to help educate folks on what is and is not pet safe. Now, speaking of pet safe, Lively is a new line of household cleaning and pet care products that uses probiotics, otherwise known as good bacteria, to remove bad bacteria without those harsh chemicals. So as you can see on your screen, the pet products include Pet Multi-Service Stain and Odor Remover, which did get the Martha Stewart's Good Things seal. You can also get the Pet Deodorizing Spray or Pet Breath and Dental Water Additive. Cleaning your home, we've all done it, when a dog or a cat has had an accident and you get out that annoying red and white spray bottle, you know what I'm talking about. Or you try and use vinegar to clean things. It never ends up working out the way you want it to. So I have a feeling that my friends at Lively have a hit on their hands. At least that's what I'm hearing from a few friends who've used their products. Now, moving on. Last week, we talked about the scorching weather we've been having. Sadly, it hasn't changed much since then, with humidity indexes scoring higher and higher every day across the country. Not to mention the endless air quality alerts the Northeast and Midwest have been getting. So, I wanted to cover off on Best Friends Animal Society's tips that we talked about last week to keep your pets cool again, just to make sure everyone has what they need. Let's start off with exercise dogs during the cooler morning or evening hours, not in the intense afternoon heat. Remember, the sun hits its strongest point at about between 4 and 5 o'clock during the summer. So you want to make sure that you're getting them out after that time period. You want to make sure you're getting them out very early in the morning so that you're not hitting that peak sun period. Now, you also want to make sure that you're keeping pets indoors during the hottest parts of the day. So, as an example, when I take Brie out, it's always quick walks and bathroom breaks during the day for when it's extremely hot. But we also try and keep them in the shade. So you want to make sure that when you're going out with your forever one on a day like this, that you're just going out for a quick pee and coming back. You can do your long walks early in the morning and at night. Now, be aware of the temperature of the sidewalk, asphalt, sand, or yes, even packed dirt, as they can cause burns to your pet's paw pads if they are too hot. If you're running into this, I would highly recommend you either use paw wax or booties in order to keep your pet's paw pads safe. Now, if pets do spend time outside during the day, ensure they have access to shade at all hours of the day. Dogs on tethers are especially vulnerable because they could become tangled out of reach of shade or water. Dogs being tied up in the backyard, I've never been a fan of. And when it comes to days like what we've been experiencing lately, it's even more dangerous. So please, folks, be mindful of that kind of thing. I know it's hard. We got a lot of stuff going on in our daily lives. But at the end of the day, it is a life and it is a member of your family. Provide pets with fresh, cool water at all times, as most dogs will not drink hot water no matter how thirsty they are. Now, dogs who are older or overweight, have a thick coat, or pushed-in nose, smushy face breeds, are especially at risk of overheating. I grew up with pugs, I should know. Frenchies, bulldogs, those kinds of dogs are especially susceptible to heat and humidity. Now, dogs with bald patches or minimal coats may also need sunscreen, so ask your veterinarian. Never, ever, 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 ever leave your pet in a parked car when the outside temperature is above 70 degrees. Many studies many studies show that the temperature inside a car on a 70-degree day can rise to almost 90 in about 10 minutes and to just about 104 in as little as half an hour. Dogs and cats do not sweat like we do. They pant to lower their body temperature. Now, if they're inside a car and they're recycling hot air, panting gives no relief and heat stroke can occur quickly. Do me a favor, folks. If you suspect that your pet is suffering from heat stroke, call your veterinarian immediately. Now, you know what does my heart good? Seeing forever friends going to a new, loving, and responsible home. There are so many pets in shelters and at rescues right now, more than I've seen in almost a decade. Please, I implore you, adopt, foster, volunteer, whether it's for a shelter or a rescue, it doesn't matter. Only together as a pack can we make a difference. And remember, always adopt, never shop. Speaking of which, back on the Pet Lifestyles magazine front, remember that our first issue in over a year is going to be in September. It's the rescue, advocacy, and adoption issue. We're focusing literally on everything around adoption, fostering, rescue with this edition. We already have a good amount of information from various rescues and shelters across the country. However, we could always use more. We want to keep supporting the community in every way that we can, whether it's on the Weekly Paw or in the magazine on Quarterly, or when we actually are doing a few things that I can't get into right now, but come January, there are going to be a lot of changes for Pet Lifestyles that we've been working on behind the scenes. And rescue is going to be a big part of that. So please, we could use more and more information from you folks to give you guys promotion, to give you guys the chance to adopt out more animals. So if you work at a shelter or volunteer for a rescue, please ask them to send a 400-word profile on their organization to the email address on your screen. Again, only together as a pack can we affect positive change for our forever friends. Now, normally I don't do this, but on a personal note, I have to emphasize a few points for obvious reasons. Last week, I was being interviewed for a story, and the journalist asked me, what inspired me to get into rescue, advocacy, and the overall animal community? Well, here it is. This is a photo of my parents. My parents are the reason I am the way I am about animals. I started rescuing at the ripe old age of 6 years old. I grew up in an apartment in Manhattan with 2 dogs and 3 cats, goldfish, mice, hamsters, you name it. Without my parents and their support and their influence, I don't know that I would have the same passion that I do for animals and the community today. Now, my Aunt Marissa is the exact same way. I mean, she's only 9 years older than I am. with her husband, Peter. They got a number of dogs, they've had cats, and so on. Now, here's a photo of my pack on the day we adopted Brioreo. Yes, you recognize her as the spokesdog for Pet Lifestyles magazine. I could not imagine a single day in my life without my wife, Kylie, or our Brioreo. Kylie's been rescuing since she was a little girl, too, growing up in Australia. And yes, she does have that beautiful Aussie accent. Together, I cannot even begin to explain how many animals we've rescued or helped to rescue over our 20 years of marriage. Now, I know the number's easily six figures. Remember, folks, inspiration can come from anywhere. Mine came from my upbringing and the love my family has for animals, as well as having a spouse who has the same philosophy. Please find your inspiration or help inspire others to be a part of the solution. Whether it's adopting, volunteering, fostering, or donating, every minute, every penny counts in the fight to save our forever friends. Now, I say all of this because I really want to help achieve the Best Friends Animal Society's goal of a no-kill nation by 2025. That gives us a year and a half. We can, in fact, figure this out, folks. To learn more about their goal, head to bestfriends.org. All right, let's lighten things up a bit. Here's this week's TGIF laugh. Given the earlier story about house cleaning, I just felt this was apropos. Here you go. Anyone who has a dog in their family can certainly relate to this one. All right, folks, I'm out of time. Stay possum peeps. We'll see you next week.